بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Subhanallah, one surah of the Quran. You can say the essence of the surah is shukr. Surah Al-Adiyat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the war horses to make us realize the reality of shukr. Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبَحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدَحًا فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود. Ajib. Allah Ta'ala speaks about the war horses, how they go out in the early morning, how they're thrown in the thick of the battle, how they're running, and with their running, literally their hooves strike sparks when it hits against the stone and the rocks. How these animals, wherever you take this horse and you throw that horse in the thick of the battle, that horse is running into the arrows. That horse is running into spears. That horse is running under swords. That horse is running into the thick of soldiers with armor and sharp knives and swords and daggers. Why is that animal throwing itself in the middle of death? Why is that horse going into that suicide mission? This is the Surah Al-Adiyat. We've heard it, we've read it. And then after mentioning all of this, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ. Verily, humankind, they are ungrateful to their most merciful Lord. What is the correlation here? Allah is talking about this horse that throwing itself in the thick of battle, putting its own life, completely turning off all of its survival instincts. Right? Animals, what is it like? You don't throw yourself in halaka. You don't throw yourself in halak, in destruction. Why is this horse doing that? Subhanallah, do you know why the horse is doing that? Because it is recognized who is its benefactor. It is from the horse that Allah wants us to realize shukr. That this horse, you give it some hay, and you give it some water, and you give it some shelter, and you train it. That horse will throw itself in death for you. Oh insan, Allah has given you so many things. What have you done for your Lord? Subhanallah. Innal insana li rabbihi lakanud. Oh insan, if you want to learn gratitude, if you want to learn shukr, if you want to learn how to be thankful to Allah, look at that horse. That horse gets some hay and some water, and it gets some stable where it has a corner to do its bathroom, and it has a bucket to drink its water, and it gets its hay on time, and it gets the attention of its master. That horse will throw itself in the thick of battle for you. Oh insan, what have you done for all the bounties that Allah has given you? Subhanallah. Innal insana li rabbihi lakanud wa innahu ala dhalika lashahid. And with his actions, he's showing how ungrateful he is. That this horse is ready to put its life on the line. You're not even ready to pray. You can't even put your head in sujood. And you're saying, oh, I don't have time for prayer. Subhanallah that you don't have time for prayer. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you were to count Allah ta'ala's blessings and enumerate them, you will never be able to do so. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Verily Allah is forgiving and merciful for your inconsistencies and ingratitude. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. And verily, with his own actions, he is a witness to his ingratitude. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. And verily, in his love for wealth, he is very, very intense. Anyways, we learn from a horse. We can learn from a horse the gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That if we were to have half the gratitude that a horse has for its master, subhanallah, what maqam would we be at? What status, what degree, what connection would we have with Allah? If we would learn from a dog, why do we have any hatred? Or why do we despise the dog? The dog has amazing qualities. Look at its wafa. Look at its loyalty to its master. What does it get? It gets some food, right? It gets some water, and it gets a place to sleep. And it's ready to give its life for its master. And what is the condition of human beings? We should learn from that horse. And we should learn from that dog. How we need to be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's amazing. It's amazing what Allah ta'ala has put inside of these animals. Why does the dog do that? And why does the horse do that? Because the horse knows from where my blessings are coming from. And this is the haqiqatu shukr. The reality of shukr is what? Recognizing from who your blessings are coming from. Not like Qarun. Qarun, he was the complete antithesis of shukr. He was the opposite of shukr. Qarun, what did he say? إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. Whatever I have, this is because I earned it. I earned it. I did this and I did that and I earned this and I earned that. This is what Qarun said. This is the complete antithesis. It's the opposite of shukr. Shukr is, right, recognizing al-mun'im. Recognizing that where your bounties have come from, that my bounties only come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and recognizing that and attesting to that by remembering Him. What is the way that we make shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah Himself in the Quran mentions, what is our way to shukr? لَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِبَدْرٍ وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. Verily, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and O Sahaba, Allah had blessed you and Allah helped you and assisted you in the battle of Badr. وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. And you were ill-equipped. You were ill-equipped. It was over 1,000 mushrikeen, 1,000 enemies, and there was like 300 Sahaba. But despite that, Allah Ta'ala gave them victory. Allah is reminding the Sahaba, Allah is reminding the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, لَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِبَدْرٍ. Remember, O Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, how He helped you in the battle of Badr. وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. You were in a state of what? Ill-equipped. You didn't have the upper hand. The mushrikeen had the upper hand. So therefore, I want you to be grateful to me. How should you be grateful? فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Subhanallah, the kalam of Allah is ajeeb. Kalam of Allah is ajeeb. If we really ponder over the Quran, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. So in reality, be conscious of Allah in every state you're in, if you truly want to be grateful. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. That if you really want to be grateful for Allah Ta'ala's bounties, then be conscious of Him. The greatest way for us, number one, how to be grateful to Allah, brothers and sisters, is recognize the bounty. Who is the giver of those bounties? Just like that horse, when that horse recognized, who is my master? When that horse recognized, from where do my blessings come from? My blessings come from this master. He's the one that brings me hay. He's the one that gives me water. He's the one that put me in this stable. Okay, I'm going to give my life for Him. Like that. That's point number one. If you recognize that, everything else after that becomes easy. Like that dog. That dog recognized, from where is my dog food coming? From where is my master taking it? This is my master. This is where the food comes from. That's why he doesn't bite the hand that feeds him. He knows that this is the one who feeds me. This is where my food comes from. This is where my blessings come from. So he remains dedicated to that master. When we realize every blessing comes from Allah, true reality of shukr will come inside of us. True reality of shukr comes when you don't attribute things to yourself. What? I earned this. I'm this because my dad did this and that, and I earned this, and I worked hard for a living. Just like the story of the blind man, the bald man, the leper. Everybody heard the blind and the bald and the leper story. Long story short, these were three people, and an angel came. Said, what would you want most out of everything in life? He said, I want this. I wish that I would have sight. I wish that I would have beautiful hair. I wish that I would have beautiful skin, and so on. So they were granted that. 10 years or many years later on, when they became very rich, and they had a lot of livestock, the angel came back in the form of what? In the form of an old man, traveler, a miskeen, poor person. And he came to those people who Allah had blessed them. And what did he say? He said, Ana miskeen. Please help me. I'm a miskeen, I'm a poor man. Help me with what Allah has given you. This is how he tested them. He said, help me with what Allah has given you. He said, what? All of this is what I earned. What are you talking about? Allah gave me. This is what I have earned. And a lot of us, we forget where we came from. What was our life in Afghanistan or Pakistan or India or Bangladesh or Palestine or Africa or wherever we came from? How were our lives? What was our condition? We were on the brink of death, right? We were on the brink of getting exterminated or getting shot or getting killed. So many of people that are here are immigrants and muhajir, forgetting where we came from. That is the tried and true method of destruction, forgetting where you came from. Just like these three people. What? Allah gave me? I worked hard for a living. I did this and I did that. And attributing everything to your own power and your own. This is exactly what Qarun did, which Allah caused him to sink into the earth. If Allah doesn't cause haqiqi maskh of us, if we don't really get sunk into the earth, in reality, through our ingratitudes, we get sunk in by all of the problems of life. If Allah doesn't get us sunk into the earth like Qarun, because of our ingratitude, we definitely get sunk in because of what? We get sunk in because of all of our problems and our issues that we have. What is the reality of that shukr? If Allah Ta'ala has given you a blessing, use it in the way that Allah has given you.